Welcome back to Maths Miss Buick. In this question we're focusing on the factor theorem. I have a previous video that explains the factor theorem, so I would recommend that you watch that video first before looking at this video. So here we have the given function f of x, which is 2x cubed plus 13x squared plus 13x minus 10. Find the three factors of f of x. So first of all we have to begin by finding a root. So 1, find root. So once we have a root, we can make a factor and we can long divide into our cubic to give us out the remaining factors. So to find a root, you have to input numbers in for the x. So for example, we could start off by saying let x be -3, put a -3 here, -3, -3, and if it's not 0, then it's not a root. So we do maybe -2, so put a -2 in here, -2, -2. If that's not 0, put a -1. And you keep going until you get out 0. So it can be quite tedious because it takes a bit of time. But this is how I do it. So I take my calculator and I say, okay, set up. And I go across here to table and I press 3. So we're going to form a table now with our function. So our function is 2. Now to get x, you press the alpha button and there's x down here. And you form your x and you put in your cube. Keep going over, plus 13, alpha again, x, and we square, plus 13 alpha x, -10. So you can see here I've got my function written out. I then press equal sign and there's another option for another function, but we don't have another one. So we keep pressing the equal sign. And now we have this here where it says start at 5. I start at 1 and end at 5. So let's say -3. I'm picking these numbers at the top of my head. So we're going to go from -3 up to 5 in steps of 1. So we're going to cover -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And hopefully within this range of numbers, we have our root. So let's press equals now. And we have this little table here. So you can see here that these are the numbers on the x side here that we sub in. So we're going from let's have a look again. We're going from -3 all the way down to +5. So all we have to do is look over on the f of x side to see are any of them 0. And we can see that when x is -2, we get a value of 0. So -2 is a root. So you can see here it's a much more efficient way of finding a root. So we know now from the calculator that f of -2 is equal to 0. So because -2 is a root, this implies that x plus 2 is a factor. So that's one of our factors found. Now we have to find the next 2. So to find the next 2, what we're going to do is we're going to long divide in x plus 2 into our cubic. So here we go. X divides into 2x cubed, 2x squared times 2x by x is 2x cubed, 2x squared by 2 is 4x squared. Line across and we change to the opposite sign. So negative and negative. We now have the 2x cubes are cancelling and we bring down with us now 9x squared and a plus 13x. And we begin again. X divides into 9x squared with a remainder of 9x. 9x by x is 9x squared. 9x by 2 is 18x. Line across and change again. So we can see here that the 9x squared cancels with the minus 9x squared. We're left with minus 5x. And we bring down with us now minus 10. Start again. X divides into minus 5x, minus 5 times. Minus 5 by x is minus 5x. And minus 5 by 2 is -10. Change our signs. and we're left with 0 at the bottom. So we can see here that 2x squared plus 9x minus 5 is also a factor, because this multiplied by this gives us out our cubic. However, we want to find another two factors because we already know that x plus 2 is a factor. So let's think about ways we could solve this here to find maybe another two factors. So we can see that that is a quadratic. So let's write that down. We have 2x squared plus 9x minus 5. So let's open up two brackets. 2x in one, x in the other. And we think to ourselves, how could we possibly get here minus 5? So 1 minus 5 is minus 5 multiplied by 1, or is 5 multiplied by minus 1. So let's put a 5 here and a minus 1 there. So let's check. So 2x by x is 2x squared, 2x by 5 is 10, minus 1 by x is minus x, and then minus 1 by 5 is minus 5. So that's true. So we equal that to 0 here. And let's solve. So 2x minus 1 and x plus 5 equals 0. Now in the question, it said find the three factors. So we're done because x plus 5 is a factor, and 2x minus 1 is the factor, and the other factor we found was x plus 2. So now we are done. We have our factors. Let's say, however, the question said find the three roots. Well, then we would not be finished. So we will extend the question and find the three roots as well. So we have 2x minus 1. We have x plus 2, and we've got x plus 5. So this implies that x will be equal to minus 5 as a root, x will be equal to minus 2 as a root, and x will be equal to 1/2 as the other root. So these are our roots. And these red boxes up here are our factors.